Hi everybody, it's Lace, and this video is going to cover using a non-commission free vendor. I've noticed a lot of people have row homes or even homes in general, and they don't have vendors in front. And I don't exactly understand why that is because they can buy vendors. Now, of course, with the initial pledges and, the benefactor pledges and the founder pledges and all this, they came with commission free vendors. Some of the bundles, if you buy, I think it's the Village bundles that they have now, you'll get a commission free vendor. But if you're just, using a row home, you might not have gotten that commission free vendor, so you need a vendor. And they're pretty easy to obtain. You can get one from, I'm just going to run over here real quick as an example, and I want to show you a couple things here. You can get them from the Homes Merchant, usually above an MPC banker, or the Homes Merchant, like in a POT. And let's get into the menu, and you can just type in vendor to filter, and they're 20,000 gold. The other thing to show you is, as far as houses go, one of my favorite houses that they have are these stucco ones, and they have a 3-story, a 2-story, and then a 4-story alcove home, and they're really actually quite pretty looking, and you can get them for 10k gold in game. There's some other ones that are craftable. Of course, if you want to grow things, making the crafted version of the greenhouse row house, the 4-story, that's one of those. There's one in the store for $100, but that's the one you can craft in game. It takes like 200 timbers, and I can't remember all the stuff now. I used to make a bunch of them. I don't really make so many anymore. Anyway, but the one for 10k, I just kind of wanted to highlight that because it's going to be cheaper than the row house greenhouse. Of course, you can't grow in it, and it looks something like this. It's not a bad looking home. You've got a little tiny balcony and stuff. And again, you'd see these in Hometown. And for those that don't know, Hometown is a spotlight. It's kind of near Soul Town in Ardoris, and it's an area that just showing you kind of the layout of this. It's got little rooms for nooks and crannies and storing things, and the stuff pretty much repeats as we go up. So we're not going to go all the way to the top, although there is a little balcony up there, and you got a little like separate bedroom here. Again, this is the 110k non-crafted. It's just from the vendor. You got, it's got pretty nice walls and stuff. There are white stucco as you go up. A nice little brick area there. Anyway, that's the one for 10k, and stuff. But I think I missed a point. We'll come back to that in a second. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to showcase this home. It comes in different models. The 2, 3 story, but it's a nice little home. And I've put a non-commission free vendor here to use as an example. Oh, I remember my point now. Haha, because I paused. Yeah, it was about Hometown. Hometown is going to have models of all the homes, um, even expired ones, so you can just kind of see what they were because somebody might sell an expired one or something like that. It's also, I believe, has the different biomes for people looking at POTs and stuff, because maybe you bought a POT from somebody that had one and they sold theirs, and you'll have the option to change its biome. I think it'll cost you the $25 to do that, but you can, scope out the biomes and stuff. Scope out homes if you're, trying to buy an expired home from somebody, or even just the new ones that, as they come into the game. They may not be fully decorated, and and you might have to wander a bit because it's a pretty large area to find the homes. But anyway, that was what I was going to say about what Hometown is just a way to see all the different homes that are available in game. Now, going back to the vendor thing. So this is a non-commission free vendor, which I bought for 20k. I put it in a house, which cost me 10k, and I would have also had to have had, of course, a row lot deed. I'm in a player-owned town, so a player-owned town row lot deed would work. One of the older ones that were placed anywhere would work. But right now, pretty much the only thing you can get from the store as a new player would be from a bundle, and you'd get a player-owned town row house deed, and it probably, because it's a bundle, it would have a certain type of home. So you wouldn't necessarily need this. But if you bought Somebody sells you a player owned town row lot deed that you just bought separate. Well, this is one option to get you a nice little 4-story house that you can deco out. And of course, when we were at that merchant, they would have also sold some different basements and stuff. And you can still buy basements in the add-on store, but again, you can buy them for in-game gold. So not pay to win. Many options. This right here is an all non-pay to win option, just earned from in-game gold. However, when you put things for sale on a non-commission free vendor, just like if you do on a public vendor, it charges you a percentage of what you've listed the item for up front. So let's go into that and ways around that. So just like when you list an item on a public vendor, the non-commission free vendor is going to charge you a fee to list the item. So if you change your mind what your price is, you're going to pay again to relist it. It's going to also don't list something for 99 million because it's going to cost you 9 million and some change to list it. It's not quite 10%. It almost looks like 11%, and I can show you. I'll pretend to list something here. Let me get up on this guy. Dun dun dun. And manage inventory to sell stuff. And I just brought some fodder things to pretend to sell. So if I say something that's going to be 1,000 gold, it's going to charge me 110. So it's like 11%, I guess is what it is. It's a very odd number. Seems like for 1,000 it should charge me 100, but that's how they go. And it would cost me an additional 110 to list this item. So basically, I'd only be making 890 gold off of it and stuff. If I list it out and I go to remove it by right-clicking remove, I've lost that 110 gold that I put into the initial listing of the item. So be careful of that. This is exactly the same way a public vendor works, except that on a public vendor, your listings expire in 7 days, and if you don't reclaim them, you get basically like 25 gold back for whatever it was you listed. You're not even going to get the amount that you listed it for, the listing fee back when that happens. So always be careful of that on public vendors. On these, at least, they're going to stay up, and you don't have to worry about the 7-day thing. But there's ways around this, and this is going to speak to some rewards that came with the founder and benefactors from the early backers. And some people may be selling these items because they don't need them, because they already got the commission free vendor. They don't need any more vendors. They're not going to buy any, commissioned vendors like this guy. And it's called a royal orb. And what it does is reduces that fee amount that this guy is charging me for listing items. And I'm going to show you how that works here in a second. So I've never actually done this, but we're going to do it together. Oops, I didn't mean to open him to buy. I just needed to target him. I'm sorry. So I've got him, got my sights on him. I'm going to go into inventory, and I've got some royal orbs on me and stuff. Don't ask me how I got a bunch, but I do have a bunch. And I can say use. And dun, 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 I think this is it. I want to equip. No, there we go. Grant vendor fee reduction. Are you sure you want to do this? You can only do this once every 30 days. And I'm going to say proceed. Okay. And when I now mouse over that item that I just used, you can see under Royal Orb, the third line down, it says next fee. Oops. It says next fee reduction available in 29 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes. So once a month, you can do this with one of these orbs. And so now if I go to list that same torch, I double click it, I go to manage inventory, torch, drag that in, and I want to do it for 1,000 gold again. Now my fee's down to 55. So it basically reduced it in half. So it was like around a 10% fee and then that odd amount over. Because if I do this for 2,000, it's not, there's something weird going on with the math on the listing fee. It's like there's an extra decimal going in there. But anyway, it's taken it down by half. Now here, whoops, no, I don't want to list that for that amount. Now here's another trick that you can do. So I can click on him as my focus. Get focused, girl. Okay, escape, maybe not. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Now I have a second royal orb, right? So I can say use, grant. It's going to say, oh, you must select a vendor. Well, I'm trying to select him. I'm trying to get him targeted. Oh, good gravy. I had the target on him. Maybe now I can do it. Go, let's see. Grant. Oh, you can't double stack them. Oh, I thought you could double stack them. Okay. Scratch that. Well, now we know you can't do that. I thought maybe you could double stack him and basically almost make him commission free for 30 days. But no, okay. Foiled. Told you guys I hadn't done this before. I thought maybe we could do this because I know on land taxes with the Royal Scepter, which grants the tax credit to the owner of the land by about half of whatever the rental is for the month. I thought maybe we could do twice on these guys, but nope. Now we know. So again, this is the basics of using a quote-unquote private vendor as opposed to a commission-free vendor. And again, like I've said, it's not that much different than a public vendor, other than it's on your lot. You can name them how you want. You can put as many items, well, not as many, but a lot more items on this. I think on a public vendor, you're limited to 10 items. You can put a lot of stuff on here. So there's really no excuse to own a house and not have a vendor up. Um, it's pretty affordable, really. It take a little while to pay for itself. And yes, you've got to have that fee. But ask your guild mates and stuff. Because anybody that, had one of the higher pledge levels got this royal orb. You can check on the forums for, like in the want to sell, want to trade, or those types of posts, and see about acquiring that to help reduce your overall cost per listing each item. Other than that, you can, you'll have to build that in perhaps into your price model. Just don't overprice yourself to where your stuff doesn't sell and you end up having to take it down and resell it. Now you've lost twice on the listing fee. But really, again, no reason not to have one of these if you've got a house. There's always stuff that you're finding in the world, whether it's sooty bark, a mushroom, or whatever, that you can put up for sale. So why not stimulate the economy by having a wider variety of sellers? For you folks living in Diamond Fields, ask me. I've got 3. I might have another one somewhere that might be buried in some damn chest or something. I might have 4 of these laying around. I can't remember because I think I got one from something else too. But just ask me if you end up putting one of these up. Ask me to use it. Now, obviously, one I just burned for 30 days doing this video. Sorry, but I don't have any not I don't have any. I'm going to call them private vendors versus commission free vendors, just so I don't have to say not non-commission free and do the double negative. But just ask me if you guys live here and you want to put a vendor up and you don't have one already. I will use my orb. You'll just have to remind me, when it expires and stuff, and to refresh it and things like that. And I'll be glad to help you out as your governor, the governor. And look, I changed outfits again. I put on my little wealthy merchant outfit and my little cavalier hat. I didn't like the wealthy merchant hat. It's far too flamboyant and it wouldn't take dye. So it just wasn't going to be the right color because I had to go black because, I'm all about the black. Uh, I took the black. I'm on the night's watch. Anyway, hope this helps you out and not be so scared to not use one of these, on your lot and stuff. So take care, everybody. Happy hunting and be safe.